All right, so we're going to look at vector equations of lines. And the first way we're going to look at it is when the equation of a line can be determined by the point and direction. So you get given some point in space and you get given the direction in which that point can sort of move. And then you need to define the vector that describes all points on that line. So it can be quite a challenging idea. This is the solution, but obviously the solution is no help if we don't understand it. So that's what we're going to do. Basically, we would say some point in space L is defined as the set of all points on some point P, where that point P is defined as a vector from some reference point O to that point P, which is the combination of a vector A plus some multiple T of some other direction vector D. So confusing idea just saying that, but I think we'll be able to make some sense of it. Generally speaking, you won't see the set notation, and you'll see something like this. You would just define some line in space as being some vector R of T that's equal to A plus TD, when T is an element of any real number. So it's hard to explain without an example, but let's really step this through. So the first thing we're going to say is we're going to create some point in space, and we're going to call that A. Okay. So call this point A, and we've got some reference point here, O. Now I've just used the origin, but don't fall into the trap of thinking that you have to use the origin as your sort of reference point. You can use any point in space. Okay, so I think you would agree to begin with that OA is the vector from O to some point A. So we've been given our point. Okay, what we're going to do now is going to get given some direction. So which direction are we going to move in from A? And you'll see how this will help us build up to the idea of determining an equation of a line. So this is the direction we're going to be moving in. We're going to be moving in this direction, D. So we're over in this direction here. Okay. What we can do from there is we can put some other point P, which is on that line, which is in that direction somewhere P. And so what we can do then is we can connect those points. So you would agree that from our reference point O to that point P would be the vector OP. And we can say, using vector addition, that this is the vector A, OA or A, and then this is the vector TD. Now, D is just in this direction. T is going to tell us how much we're moving in that direction. So you'll notice as we change T is just some element of real numbers. So that's just sort of a multiple of it. We can change T to be whatever we like. And that tells us all the points that would fit on that line, right? So I'll just step this point out a little bit more. A, so this plus this, I think you would recall from vector addition. If I add this vector to this vector, I get this pink vector. This blue vector to this multiple of this D vector will give us this pink vector, which is the vector OP. It can also be defined as the vector A plus T multiplied by the vector D, where T is some scalar multiple of the vector D. Okay, so you get this situation going on, and you might notice that this sketches out a line. It sketches out a linear line, and we can actually show you what that line is. That's this line here, right? You notice that the point P sketches out that line. And now hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. It's the point P that is on the vector OP that can be defined as the vector A plus some multiple of the direction vector D, where T is an element of R. So you can change T to be whatever you like. And then that defines all the points on that line. More simply, we just write this. R of T, which is this pink line, is the vector A plus some multiple of the direction vector D. And that defines all the points on that black line that we have here, this black line. Okay, so reasonably challenging idea. That's one way we can define a vector equation of a line, is when you get given the point and the direction. So hopefully that sort of clarifies that a little bit. In another video, we're going to look at how we can define a vector equation of a line when we get given different kind of information. So stay tuned and good luck with all your studies. We'll see you soon.